Hello everyone. So Saracen have launched their new bikes today. Now I do like my Saracen bikes traditionally, but I have to say when I looked earlier I was a bit underwhelmed. Maybe coming round to their way of thinking now. I don't know, to be honest. So the downhill bikes that we all know and love, the Mists, mainly carbon, apart from obviously their aluminium one, which is more aimed at the budget conscious, wanting to go to bike park, that's it sort of crowd. Now in terms of the Ariel, they've completely changed, whereby before we had the Ariel Elite, the aluminium, and the Ariel LT, the carbon. We now have the 80, the 60 and the 30. The 80 also a bike park bike, which probably replicates where they want to be with the Ariel. Sorry, the Mist aluminium. The Enduro, which is like a 160mm travel, probably circa where the Ariel Elite used to be, but with 29er inch wheels. And the Trail, also a 29er, but less travel, about 130mm, which was sort of where the range was lacking before. There was no real trail bike. They've also got the e-bike as well, which is, you know, for a different time. It's expensive. All the rest of them are, apart from the downhill, these Ariels are quite cheap for what they are, but they are all aluminium, so there is no carbon fibre Ariel anymore. But let's look at the park ones first of all. So, you know, it's a 27.5 inch bike, 180mm travel front and back, a mixture of mainly deal components. It's got DHX2, the performance one at the back, and a RockShox Seb fork. And to be honest, let's face it, for 2,400 quid for a bike you can go smash at a bike park, it's decent value for money, to be fair. If you want something slightly posher, and by posher I mean Fox 38 forks, and a mixture of SLX and I believe XT drivetrain. Yeah. Can't remember what the brakes are on this one actually. What are the brakes on this one? Oh, I can't remember. Brakes. Deal. So the same. Deal 4 pots, which is probably more than powerful enough, but 300 quid. It's on par in terms of the price of the former the Ariel Elite, which was also an aluminium frame bike, but with a carbon triangle at the back, and was circa 165 rear travel, 170 front travel. This would probably smash things quite a lot harder than the previous Ariel Elite, to be fair. So it's not a bad price. Then you got the 60. Now the 60 does come in a frame only, which is quite cheap for a frame, to be fair, but you also get the bog standard model, 2,500 quid. And this is a 160mm travel bike, 29er, but you can actually set up as a mullet with a flip chip in it apparently, if you wanted to look weird. Yeah, you've got drivetrains, mixture of Dior and SLX. Probably not a bad spec bike, and actually if I was going to spec a bike up around this cost, I'd probably put Bomber Z1s on as well at the front. It's probably a good package. But this goes all the way up to the Elite, which is quite expensive at £4,200. Not as much as the previous most expensive Ariel, to be fair, but these are still just aluminium, not carbon. Again, 160mm travel, but you get a far posher Fox 38 factory up front, and a mixture of, well, I think it's mainly XT drivetrain components. So in terms of the 30, you also can have that as a frame only, and again the frame's pretty cheap, but the bog standard one, £2,200. It's 130mm travel bike. To be honest, for that money I'd probably spec up the same, to be honest, you know, with the Bombers Z2, if I was only looking to spend that much. The Pro's only slightly posher, to be fair. You know, you got a 34, probably verging on that sweet spot between what they call down country now and trail bikes. So look, that's largely the new bike range. As I say, initially when I looked at it, wasn't too excited, but actually, you know what, Saracen were probably pushing the boundaries a bit, trying to sell £5,000 non-e-bikes. I'm not quite sure how popular they were. I loved them, but I never spent £5,000 on an Ariel LT, and I'm not sure many people did. But you know, these, oh, and actually to change, there is a change. It's all direct to consumer now, so you can't go into a shop anymore and ride it round. You have to go to you have to buy online, wait for it to come, give it a go, and I suppose return it if you don't like it. But that's the new Saracen range.